What's going on, IG peeps? Hopefully, you guys are having an amazing Tuesday. I want to touch on something really fast that we've talked about before many times. We just did a video for our 47-day transformation people, talking about one bad day of eating or one bad meal or one mess up or one slip up. And a lot of you guys are your own worst enemy, your own worst critic, and you're striving for perfection when you really should just be looking for progress. I think that's the biggest takeaway. People will do things where they'll have a bad meal, or they'll go to a happy hour and have a couple of drinks they didn't plan on having, or they'll have a completely shitty day, and they think that all hope is lost. And they think that that one bad meal or that one bad day that they didn't plan on, somehow erases or deletes all the hard, amazing, badass work they did for the last, 6 days, if you will, if you take like a day of the week. And the example I always give is if you've trained really hard and you've ate well for 6 days, and then that 7th day comes and you're craving something or you want something and you kind of give in and you eat some shit, and maybe you're at a calorie surplus, you have a 3, 4, 5,000 calorie day if you go kind of completely crazy. That one bad day does not erase all the hard work, effort, and energy you put into 6 days of eating at a deficit and training hard, if fat loss is the goal, for example. In the same context, and the reason I say it can't erase all that stuff is because it's just true, it can't. It would be the equivalent of saying if you ate like shit, drank like shit, didn't train, and just laid around for 6 days, and then on the 7th day, you ate perfect, you trained, 3 workouts in the day, and you're really mindful of everything you were doing, and somehow you would think that that one day of proper eating and training somehow erased the 6 days of you drinking and eating shit. That sounds crazy, doesn't it? Well, it's no crazier than when you say something like, well, that one bad day erased, all the hard work I did 6 days before. It doesn't. One bad meal, one shitty day, one missed workout does not make you unfit, unhealthy, and unhappy. Just like one great day of workouts, one great day of tracking macros and eating real food turns you into an Adonis and makes you super fit and you have a great ass and 6-pack abs. It doesn't happen in a day. You can't erase all the hard work you did in a day, just like you can't get super fit, super healthy, super happy, and be amazing in just one day. It's not what we do some of the time that matters most. It's what we do most of the time that matters most. And that's the thing I think people get lost on, and they become their own worst enemy and their own worst critic. And we overanalyze and we really put so much importance on like a single day of eating, a single meal, a single event. Now, if you're in a habitual process and that's happening for 1, 2, 3 years in a row, and you're having these 10,000 calorie days, then that's a different discussion we have to have altogether. But if you're out there and you find yourself, you set out a goal for the week was to be perfect and eat within these macro ranges and only eat these foods and only do these workouts and make sure you didn't miss, and something happened along the way. It's called fucking life. Like your kids, your husband, your job, traffic, you got a flat tire, 19 other things I could list. It's okay if the workout wasn't your greatest workout ever. It's okay if you didn't hit a PR. It's okay if you went a little bit over on macros. It's okay if, out of 7 days of the week, you had 3 fucking cookies one day you didn't plan on. That's not that big of a deal. Again, it's not what you do some of the time that matters most. It's what you do most of the time that matters most. So again, we sometimes, we focus just 6 inches in front of our face when we have to be really looking 6 miles down the road. It's not what you guys are doing in the micro that matters. It's what you're doing in the macro, in the big picture. When you look at the scope of the week, out of the 7 days, 90% of the time, did you do what you're supposed to do? If the answer is yes, you guys are winning. If you had a 10% fuck up, that's okay. It's called being a normal human. You just learn from the mistakes. Why did we do it? Be mindful of it next time and see if you can improve on it to win the next week, if you will. But again, it's not about being perfect. It's just about you making progress. And please, if you're out there doing that, you're beating yourself up over stuff, you're being your own worst enemy, you're being overly critical, and you're giving overimportance to a single shitty eating day or missed training session or bad meal, just remember, if you ate like shit and drank like shit for 6 days, and you worked out really well for one day and ate really well for one day, you're not going to wake up the next day and be super fit. That does not erase the 6 days of shitty eating and drinking, just like one bad meal, one bad day, a couple extra drinks doesn't eradicate all the hard work you did for the 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days before that. So again, for the last time, it's not what we do some of the time that matters most. It's what we do most of the time that matters most. So again, remember that, be diligent. If you find yourself fucking up or making mistakes, be mindful of it, ask yourself why, and then next time you're in that situation, see if you can't win that battle. And all this comes down to is you selling yourself on why you should do something versus shouldn't do something. And if you can win more of those battles more often than not, you guys will be successful, not just in fat loss and building muscle and eating and training, but in everything you do in life. So that's my quick takeaway. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Don't be your own worst enemy. Don't be your own worst critic. And don't be so hard on yourselves when you have a little stumble and fall. It's human. That's what we do. It's the little failures, again, that make us human. It's just part of the game. And again, I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. Nobody is. And don't hold yourself to some unrealistic standard. Live your life. Enjoy it. And again, the micro doesn't matter as much as what you're doing in the macro. That's the takeaway. Have a great night, you guys. And until next time, eat well, train hard, be nice to people, and please keep doing shit you love with people you enjoy, because your life is too short not to. And again, don't beat yourself up over little losses when in the macro picture, you have way more big wins coming your way. Celebrate those. That's what you should focus on. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Peace.